आकाशवाणी का ये दिल्ली केंद्र है। कृपया हमारे अगले कार्यक्रम की प्रतीक्षा कीजिए। ये आकाशवाणी है। प्रस्तुत है टोक्यो समर ओलंपिक्स 2020 में आज के खेलों का लेखा जोखा।
Tokyo Olympics 2020.
Hello and welcome to the highlights of Day 14 of the events of Tokyo Olympics 2020. There was eventful action in hockey, golf, wrestling and athletics. And to throw light on which we have V. Krishnaswamy and Ravikant Singh. Starting with hockey. India's women's team went down 3-4 to Great Britain in the bronze medal match. 2-0 down in the first quarter, India did stage a comeback with a riveting 3 goals in 4-minute spell in the second quarter. But eventually, that was not to be enough. Ravi, from having lost the first 3 games by big margins to coming so close to the podium, what are your thoughts?
Well, it was almost a dream come true for the women क्योंकि जिस तरह से वो आए थे इस टूर्नामेंट में, रैंकिंग उनकी FIH में विमेंस रैंकिंग 10 थी और वहाँ से ये सफ़र सेमीफाइनल तक पहुँचना, ब्रॉन्ज मेडल प्लेऑफ में भी हाफ टाइम पर 3-2 की लीड लेना, ये अपने आप में इतनी बड़ी कामयाबी है कि इसे कई सालों तक याद रखा जाएगा। They were just 1 goal away from a medal। तो ये दिखा रहा है कि विमेंस हॉकी में भी कितना हमने प्रोग्रेस किया है, कितना फाइटिंग स्पिरिट है प्लेयर्स में। जिस तरह से वो मैचेस हार रही थी ग्रुप स्टेज में, बिल्कुल ऐसा लग रहा था कि सब हताश हो जाएंगी, निराश होके कुछ खास कर नहीं पाएंगी और लोग यही मान रहे थे कि ऑस्ट्रेलिया से क्वार्टर फाइनल है तो आप बाहर हो गए। लेकिन वहाँ से सफ़र आगे बढ़ाना और यहाँ तक पहुँचना बहुत बहुत बड़ी कामयाबी है।
And Krishnaswamy, the achievement gets magnified when we compare it to what happened in Rio. 12th place finish, and here they are at the 4th position.
It clearly showed that the team had matured a lot in the last 5 years. They'd played a lot of international hockey. They were no longer in awe of some of these better ranked foreign teams. And the fact that they had spent so much time together made them a better unit. These girls seem to understand each other much better. From whatever I hear and from whatever they say, it's almost like, Rani Rampal is having a small family. She treats all these girls like younger sisters. They've all grown up together. Many of them come from very modest families, and hockey has actually given them a new lease of life, a job, rewards, recognition. Their families have improved so much. And finally, when they see themselves on television and, congratulations coming down from the Prime Minister to the man on the street, it means a lot to these young girls. And I think that is what is built, translated into confidence, and that has begun to show on the field. Sure, when they began the 2021 Olympic campaign, they lost those first 3 games, and at that point of time, many would have written them off, but they fought back and they reached the quarterfinal, beat Australia. That was an absolutely stunning show to get into, the semi-finals, and they were just within touching distance of a medal, which would have been unthinkable till a few years ago. So I think what they have done, even if they have come back without a medal, their achievement is absolutely magnificent. And the way Gurjeet Kaur has responded in the 2 crucial matches by scoring penalty corner goals showed that there is a huge amount of potential. Remember, there is no longer 4 years before the next Olympics. It's only now 3 years. So these girls have a lot to look forward to. There is a World Cup before that, and then the Olympic Games, and in between, of course, the Asian and the Commonwealth Games. So I think these girls have a lot to look forward to, and we can expect some tremendous results from them.
Ravi, Indian hockey landscape के लिए ये परफॉर्मेंस कितना मायने रखता है?
बहुत ज़्यादा मायने रखता है क्योंकि लगातार हमें एक आदत सी पड़ गई थी कि इंडिया पोडियम पे नहीं पहुंचेगा। हम तरस रहे थे कि सेमीफाइनल में कब पहुंचे। 1980 को अगर छोड़ दें, जिसमें कि लीग मुकाबले हुए थे, कोई सेमीफाइनल्स नहीं हुआ था, तो 1972 के बाद हम सेमीफाइनल पहुंचे नहीं हैं। 2008 में बीजिंग में तो हम क्वालिफाई भी नहीं किया। तो ये दिखा रहा है कि हॉकी से एक निराशा सी हो गई थी, वरना लोग ओलंपिक्स फॉलो करते थे हॉकी के लिए। एथलेटिक्स कभी बिल्खा सिंह आ गए, कभी पीटी उषा आ गई, लेकिन इसके अलावा कोई बहुत बड़े नाम नहीं आते थे, हमेशा हॉकी पर ही डिपेंड रहते थे। तो अब हॉकी का वो एक रुतबा था, वो धीरे धीरे खत्म होने लगा था। आजकल बच्चे पूछते थे कि हॉकी की हम क्यों बात करते, अब पता चलेगा हॉकी की हम बात क्यों करते, क्योंकि ये रिजल्ट्स बता रहे हैं कि ओलंपिक्स में परफॉर्म करना, उस पोडियम तक पहुंचना या उसके करीब भी आना कितना मायने रखता है।
And we shall conclude this conversation by stating that India are the only nation to have registered top 4 finishes in both men's and women's hockey in Tokyo. Moving on to golf, at the end of round 3 of women's individual event, Aditi Ashok remained glued to the second spot, while Diksha Dagar found herself tied 51st. Krishnaswamy, let's start with the weather update.
The weather update suggests that if the final round is cancelled on a Saturday morning and can't be held on Sunday either, then the results after 54 holes, that is 3 rounds, will stand, which means Adit is assured of a silver medal, which will be an absolutely sensational result for Indian golf. Not only in terms of the fact that golf is only coming back for the second time after 100 years into the Olympic program, but also that women's golf was always, spoken of, kind of a lesser manner than the men's golf, because men had achieved far more in terms of their international recognition on the world's best tours in the United States and Europe and Asia. But the women have only, kind of got a chance only in the last 8 to 10 years. And Aditi leads a bunch of young guns. This is the fresh talent. I mean, this is the young brigade. She was an amateur for a long time. She represented India for the first time at the age of 12 and 13. And she was there for the 2016 Olympics, where she actually played very well for the first 2 rounds and caught the world's attention. But she faded away to 41st place. And here, after 3 rounds, she is lying second. And the girl ahead of her is actually the world number 1, Nelly Korda of United States, who has won many tournaments, including a major. The performance of Aditi Ashok shows that the Indian women have it in them. There are other Indian women who have been inspired by Aditi and have done well in Europe, like Diksha Dagar. She won a tournament in South Africa and in London recently. Tressa Malik has been knocking on the doors in Italy, in Belgium, in France. So I think there's a lot of potential. The medal shows that there is a huge amount of depth. We only need to make people more aware of golf, women's golf in particular, and the sport has huge potential to bring a lot of laurels for India.
रवि, खास करके पहले 3 राउंड्स में जिस तरह की कंसिस्टेंसी दिखाई है, उससे होप्स और भी स्ट्रांग हो रहे हैं.
बिल्कुल. और अगर आप स्कोर्स देखें, कार्ड्स देखें तीनों राउंड्स के, 71 पार का ये कोर्स है, 67, 66, 68, यानी कि आप लगातार एक कंसिस्टेंट परफॉर्मेंस कर रहे हैं. तो उससे बेहतर आप और क्या उम्मीद कर सकते हैं. इनफैक्ट अगर आप नेली कॉर्डा का स्कोर्स देखें, सेकंड राउंड में उन्होंने 62 मारा, लेकिन बाकी दिन 67, 69. तो कंसिस्टेंसी वहां भी कहीं ना कहीं थोड़ा सा डगमगाई है, लेकिन अदिति अशोक ने लगातार एक जैसा परफॉर्मेंस किया है और इसी कारण वो अभी सेकंड पोजीशन में बनी हुई हैं और बहुत ही स्ट्रांग दिख रही हैं मेडल के लिए.
मैं ये भी बताना चाहूँगा कि मई और जून के महीने में अदिति अशोक की जो तैयारियां थी उनमें एक बाधा पड़ गई थी. उन्हें कोविड हुआ था, मगर उसके बावजूद उन्होंने जो इतनी तैयारियां की और इस स्तर तक पहुंची, ये बड़ी सराहनीय चीज है. क्योंकि उस कोविड के कारण उन्हें काफी सारे टूर्नामेंट अमेरिका में मिस करने पड़े, तो उनका जो रिदम था वो थोड़ा सा रुक भी गया था. मगर उसके बावजूद उन्होंने हाल ही में एक टूर्नामेंट में 3रा स्थान प्राप्त किया था और ओलंपिक में आके बहुत ही बेहतरीन प्रदर्शन दिया.
Shifting our attention to wrestling, and here's Anand's report on the performances of Indian wrestlers today.
Indian wrestling had 2 contestants with a shot at the medal today. Bajrang Punia in the men's 65 kg freestyle and Seema Bisla in the women's 50 kg freestyle. Bajrang Punia did well to secure a victory in the round of 16 against Enizar Akhmataliyev of Kyrgyzstan. The match was won by Punia despite both wrestlers having the same number of points due to the fact that Punia had a higher point scoring play in the first period. In the quarterfinal, Punia was paired off against Morteza Ghiasi of Iran. He won the match 2-1. In the semi-final, Punia faced Haji Aliyev of Azerbaijan. Punia was outplayed by the 3-time world champion as his poor leg defense came to haunt him. From the start of the match, Aliyev targeted Punia's legs and this was effective. Aliyev won the match on points with a final score of 12-5. Punia will have a shot at the bronze medal in the repechage tomorrow. Earlier, Seema Bisla lost 1-3 to Sara Hamdi of Tunisia.
रवि, अपने जीत में भी बजरंग पूनिया जिस लय के लिए जाने जाते हैं वो देखने को नहीं मिला.
हम लोग पहले ही बात कर रहे थे कि बजरंग पूनिया के घुटने में थोड़ी चोट है और उस घुटने को वो जब बचा कर खेलते हैं तो जाहिर है कि अपोनेंट्स को पता चल जाता है कि उनके साथ मुश्किल है और वो उसका फायदा उठाने की कोशिश करते हैं. और पहले राउंड में जब वो किर्गिस्तान के पहलवान के सामने थे तो मैं समझता हूँ बहुत भाग्य का साथ मिला उन्हें कि बड़े पॉइंट के आधार पे उन्हें 3 ऑल के स्कोर के बाद विजेता घोषित किया गया. लेकिन बड़ा पॉइंट लिया था उन्होंने, इसमें कोई दो राय नहीं है. लेकिन जो कोशिश थी किर्गिस्तान के प्लेयर की लगातार उनके उसी चोटिल घुटने को अटैक करने की, और ये बात उसके बाद जग जाहिर हो जाती है कि इनका ये कमज़ोर घुटना है और इसके ऊपर प्रेशर डाल. अगर आप 100% नहीं हैं तो ओलंपिक गेम्स में आपको एक्सपोज होने में सेकंड्स लगते हैं, मिनट्स भी नहीं, सेकंड्स में आपका वो जग जाहिर हो जाता है।
Krishnaswamy, considering that this has been his opponent's ploy against him, how do you look at his bronze medal prospects?
Certainly, it is never easy to fight for a bronze medal when you're actually dreaming of a gold. So, to come back from that will be difficult. But I think it is quite possible. Bajrang is a quality wrestler, and I think he has it in him to get that bronze medal. But however, I must say that in the semi-final, the Azerbaijani wrestler Haji Aliyev exploited the injuries or rather the weakness of his knee. And also, he was extremely experienced. He's been a 3-time world champion. So he really knew where to actually focus on. And once he knew that he had run up a good lead, he actually didn't waste his time. He just kind of did not give Bajrang any chances or did not let his guard down. So I think Bajrang actually may have fought well, but I think Aliyev's experience carried the day.
Ravi, how do you look at the overall performance of Indian wrestling contingent?
Slightly disappointing, because अगर आप उम्मीद कर रहे हैं पदक की, तो आपको हमेशा कोशिश यही होनी चाहिए कि अगर आप पहुंचे हैं रेपेशाज तक तो वहां पे कामयाबी मिले। एक सिल्वर मेडल रवि दाहिया का, उसके अलावा आपका खाली हाथ आए हैं, तो ये थोड़ी सी निराशा की बात रही है। विमेंस रेसलर्स से काफी ज्यादा उम्मीदें थीं, लेकिन उन्होंने शुरुआती दौर में ही थोड़ी सी झिझक दिखाई, जिस कारण से मुझे लगता है कि ये मानसिक तौर से क्या परेशानी थी और क्यों ऐसा हुआ, ये तो वही बेहतर बता सकती हैं। लेकिन उनके खेल में जो एक फ्रीडम की उम्मीद की जा रही थी वो नहीं दिखी, और इसी कारण से अपोनेंट्स के लिए काम आसान हुआ। आज आखिरी रेसलर थी विमेंस फील्ड में सीमा बिस्ला, वो भी बहुत आसानी से हारी हैं। स्कोर में बहुत बड़ा फर्क नहीं था, लेकिन कभी भी ऐसा नहीं लग रहा था कि सीमा अपोनेंट को चैलेंज करेंगी, वो बच रही हैं।
On to athletics. In men's 50-kilometer race walk final, Gurpreet Singh could not reach the finishing line, while in women's 20-kilometer race walk event, Priyanka Goswami signed off at the 17th spot, while Bhavna Jat could only manage 32nd position. Additionally, men's 4x400 meter relay saw Amod Jacob, Arokia Rajiv, Nirma Tom and Mohammad Anas break the Asian record, but they too were out in the heats. Krishnaswamy, not traditionally one of the events in which India flourishes, but overall, how do you look at today's performances?
Well, disappointing and expectedly so. I mean, I certainly wouldn't have given the athletics much of a chance for a medal, except for, say, Neeraj Chopra, who still has his final to come up. Kamalpreet did a great job by getting into the final and finishing 6th. But I think we must need to take note and probably, kind of decide whether we want to send a whole bunch of athletes to take part in the Olympics or to make a mark out there. We do need to realize that our standards and also sometimes even the Asian marks, etc., do not really cut the eyes at the Olympic and the World Championship levels. We are still looking for our Olympic medal for the first time, and I think it's still some distance away. The performances even in Tokyo do not really suggest that gap is going to be reduced very soon.
And one person who did leave a mark was Neeraj Chopra. In the qualifiers, finished second. What challenges await him, Ravi?
Big challenge. And the biggest challenge is Vetter. Vetter is world number 1 so far, and he is going to be the big challenge for Neeraj Chopra. What I would feel is that Neeraj needs a good start. If he can get a good start like he did in the qualifying round, when he came first throw over the mark, thank you very much. Now that is the kind of start he needs. He needs to go to that 88-meter mark and then challenge them. If he can challenge the field to try and catch him, then he is definitely worth a medal.
And like we've already discussed, Indian athletes would be seen in action in golf, athletics and wrestling tomorrow. Quick thoughts, Ravi, क्या expectations रख सकते हैं कल से?
3 medal, Neeraj Chopra, Bajrang Punia and Aditya Shok.
Krishnaswamy?
I certainly would hope for 3 medals, but I would like at least one of them to be at least a silver or a gold. We've had far too many bronze medals.
The medal standings today at Tokyo 2020 Summer Olympics reads China holding its number 1 position with 36 gold, 26 silver, 17 bronze. USA is close second with 31 gold, 36 silver, 31 bronze, and the host Japan remains at number 3 with 24 gold, 11 silver, 16 bronze.
Alright then, on that note of optimism, we shall conclude our show today. Thanks a lot, gentlemen, for your thoughts. We'll be back again tomorrow at the same time.
Tokyo Olympics 2020.
अभी आप टोक्यो समर ओलंपिक्स 2020 में आज के खेलों का लेखा जोखा सुन रहे थे। प्रतिभागी थे वरिष्ठ खेल पत्रकार वी कृष्णस्वामी और रविकांत सिंह। संचालक थी मेघा। कार्यक्रम के प्रस्तुतकर्ता थे SB वेंकटराम, शिबू जॉर्ज और प्रवीण चंद। ये कार्यक्रम आकाशवाणी के दिल्ली केंद्र से प्रसारित किया गया।